Hi, it's Lucy McCall of All Mesa Miracles with As Above, So Below for August 16th through the 23rd, 2024. So, the big news, and everyone's talking about it, and astrologers mainly, is the full moon that is happening today. It's Monday, and it is happening at, um, what time is that supposed to? Oh, yeah, 12:26 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And this full moon is rather intense because there is a square to the full moon from Uranus, like within 2 degrees. Uranus at whatever degrees anyway, and the new moon is the full moon is at 27. Actually, it's precise. That's right. Uranus is at 27 also. So it is one of the most precise aspects you can ever have. And Uranus tends to bring rapid and intense change and often civil unrest and stuff like that. It can bring volcanoes, it can bring earthquakes, it can bring all kinds of earth changes. It can just bring, it can also bring invention and change and scientific understanding. So that's the upside of Uranus. But being that it's in a square to the full moon, which is a very powerful, powerful aspect, and lasts about 2 weeks, though the intensity of it is right now, especially with Uranus. Uranus tends to bring things early. So we haven't even hit the full moon yet. And I did check the news today, and there's a volcano at 7 in Russia. I don't know if it was around people. We have to have that. The Earth needs to blow her top occasionally, but it's nice when it's not around people or other huge. Hopefully, the animals, usually intuitive, ran before it happened out of the way. But there's also I saw that there was a lot of protesting going on in Chicago already for the Democratic convention. And everyone was saying that this is wild that the Democratic convention is happening in Chicago after the big thing that happened in 1968, which I got to see on the news. My cousin was there. It made him a Christian after that. He was running from the cops. But anyway, many things happened because of 1968, but and the Chicago 7 and that whole thing. But we also have, again, we're having the Democratic convention and a very intensely volatile time politically. It's going to be in Chicago again, and it's going to be this week right after, or it's starting today, I think, isn't it? Yeah. Um, After this full moon, so it's right in there, and a lot of people have been talking about that already. And then with this aspect, it makes it even more if you know the astrology. So, and then I saw some other things. One of the things I saw, I don't know if this is a new understanding for scientists, but it's something that the organic freaks have been talking about for more than 50 years, is how bad the chemicals in our environment are for our stomach, for our biome. And so now that either it just came out but lately I've been hearing more and more people are realizing that the chemicals in our environment and our food, especially our food, because that's something that goes directly inside of us, and our water, our air, is hurting us and causing more and more illness. So, without the details of the illness, really, that's good. If this is going to get out more, that we need to know that needs to be really deeply understood and part of the political decisions we make right now. So anyway, that is what Uranus is doing its job, in other words, right now. Uranus is busy. The other T square is one with Mars, Saturn, and it's Mars, Saturn, and Gemini squaring the Saturn Pisces. And where's the next one? Oh, yeah, Venus and Virgo. So now that can cause some conflict between male and female. That's the Mars square Venus part. Jupiter exasperates Mars, or, I mean, Mars can make things more wonderful or much worse, kind of. It's a big planet. It exaggerates. It makes everything more. And more isn't always good. It's kind of like a little bit of good food is good for you. Too much good food is still bad for you, just because too much is too much all at once, that is. So the thing is, it's just that's how Jupiter is. So, and then Venus Mars square is kind of classic of male female issues. And then with the Saturn, it's like with Saturn, when you have that squaring in your personal natal chart or just in life, it's kind of like you can't get away with anything. It's like the great father going, "Hey, you must behave, you must improve, you must, follow the rules, you must be in the disciplined state." While meanwhile, Uranus over there is going, "I'm not following any rules, don't tell me to follow any rules." And anyway, things need to be shaken up. So it's kind of a very conflicting energy that is happening on this very day and will affect us for a couple of weeks, but especially right now. So I hope everyone, personally, for everyone, this means realize the times are tough. Take your calm herbs. Get enough sleep. Wild lettuce is great for making sure you knock out for a long time. Make sure you get that deep sleep. And just really, be very careful with driving and being more aware of other drivers than you normally have to be. Definitely do not drive under any kind of influence right now. It's just, we're just kind of walking a razor's edge, and power tools. Definitely be very conscious with your power tools. All kinds. Even a sewing machine can be unhappy if you let the needle go through your finger or something. So all kinds of just anything that is electrical, be careful with electricity, be careful with all those kind of those things that are just have a possible problem. So that's mainly what I want to say, because there's really not much else. By the end of the week, things ought to be settling somewhat. The planets are well aspected. They're on, the nakshatras are mellow. So it's, but I think the next couple of days are something that we're going to remember in our life, and probably going to change things in a way that we don't know yet what it is, So that's where we are. We're in an intense moment. And also want to tell you the nakshatra for the full moon of the moon, or the moon mansion, is Dhanista or Delphini. And this is prophetic. This is a prophetic full moon. It's where people can see possibly the future, or for themselves, or maybe bigger than that. And it also is where it's a very good time actually to spend time with elders. If you have any elders that you can do something for, now would be a good time. Bring them something, because they might be just sitting there watching all this craziness on TV, but it's still their children, their grandchildren, their great grandchildren. I mean, they're worried, And then the other thing is it is a great day to beat on drums. And so, of course, that's often a way a lot of people like to blow off steam and try to get a vision and all that. So it is a good time if you can get it together tonight, or anytime today, but probably tonight because of how most of us work during the day. Drum away. And maybe that will also just help us all. Okay, so that's mainly what I have to say about everything. And what I'd like to talk about this week herbally is the skullcap herb. So we're going to look at that because mine is blooming. So, well, here we are. This is skullcap, Scalaria. Its name tells you what it's for. It's generally for calming the nervous system, and very good for the brain. So you can see that it is a mint family. It has that little square stem, minty looking leaves, and the little purple flowers are there, which can tell you it might be a skullcap, though there's a couple other mints that have purple flowers. This one looks different than the others, actually, on how it's blooming. And because it comes in more of a little tiny little spikes at the end. And it is very bitter. So again, I love to talk about the vagus nerve now that everyone's talking about the vagus nerve. It's just so good for the vagus nerve. It's good for the digestion. If your digestion has to do with stressful energy, if that's why you're not digesting, you know. So it's excellent that way. And it's also good for sleep. A friend of mine was having a hard time sleeping in Germany, and she had gone to the doctor, and over there they will give herbs, the medical people more. And the mix was hops, skullcap, and valerian. Now, not everybody could do that formula. The valerian can be different for different people, but it really did help her sleep. And so there's one formula, but the skullcap also is used for just, you can use it alone for just sleeping at night. But for some people who are extremely high energy and like that all the time, you know, they can use a little during the day too. If they're so high energy, they're nervous. And so it's also used along with passion flower leaf, lilac or passiflora, for epilepsy. You know, but of course that's the kind of thing, check the medical person. You might want to go to a naturopath to deal with it naturally. But it is a good formula to keep a person from having epileptic fits if they are prone to it. So I know that to be true, but also, like I said, check with others about it. That's mainly what I have to say, but except that it is mercurial ruled, like the other mints, and it really does represent the nervous system in so many ways. So, and that's what Mercury does. It rules the nervous system. So, there you go. That's mainly what I have to say about it, except that it's really good this week to take something like this because it's an edgy week. Well, many blessings. Have a good time, and may the planets work in your favor.